What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here with the first of my three-part E3 2013 breakdown series. The Microsoft press conference just ended as I speak, and yeah, it was quite interesting of course, so there's going to be a lot to talk about, and I will be breaking down like every major announcement that we've seen, everything that I found surprising. They've shown a lot of games. Let's first start off with that. They've shown at least 15 games, I think, which was great. I think we all expected to see a lot of games. Didn't talk about TV at any point, I believe, which was great. But at the same time, what we have seen that really blew us away, let's talk about it right now. So what they started off with is Metal Gear Solid. They actually started the whole conference with Metal Gear Solid, which I found interesting. I did my Sony preview not too long ago, and people told me how I should have mentioned Metal Gear Solid, because even though it's going to be a third-party game, it should obviously be mentioned in the Sony preview. But yeah, here it was proven that that was actually not right. They started with Metal Gear Solid at the Microsoft press conference. Now, what was announced is that the new Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, is going to be an open world game, which I thought was really interesting. Of course, the previous Metal Gear Solids haven't been. So yeah, you definitely saw a lot of cheering from the crowd, which was great. So then they came to the stage and started talking about the Xbox 360, which I had already expected would happen. Talk about what they would do with that platform, that it would still, of course, have a life after the Xbox One is out. So what they've shown was a new Xbox Slim. So it's pretty much the third, Xbox 360 version. I thought it was very interesting how, they showed an image for like 3 seconds and then it was gone. I was like, I didn't even really have time to observe what they actually just announced. I don't think they have actually said anything about the price, so I assume that it will be the same. But what they did say is that it will have 2 free games for you to play. Assassin's Creed 2, Halo 3, pretty old games. I mean, both are like 4 years old already, I think. But yeah, of course, still great games, so, nothing to complain about there. So afterwards, the next interesting thing that they announced was World of Tanks for the Xbox One. Of course, World of Tanks is a free-to-play PC game, so, I definitely think this is interesting to see. See all these companies announce free-to-play games for their new system. You saw it with the PS4, I think Sony announced PlanetSide 2 for the PS4. I definitely think free-to-play will be a model that's going to be more important for the future. So yeah, it was interesting to see how World of Tanks is coming to the Xbox One. The next game that they showed off was Rise. Of course, we had known about Rise for a long time already, that it was made by Crytek and such, but this was the first time that we saw gameplay, and can I just say that that game just looks amazing. I mean, it shows off how the next generation of consoles really will look a lot better than what you currently get on the the PS3 and the Xbox 360. I mean, that game looks amazing. I did see a lot of QuickTime events, I must say, but I just already can't wait, to see more gameplay from that, just because of the graphics. And I know graphics shouldn't be the only thing that you care about with a new game, but it just goes to show how amazing games will look on the next generation of consoles. So 2 more games I want to briefly talk about. First of all, Killer Instinct. There were just a lot of rumors that game was going to be announced. And Sunset Overdrive, which is from Insomniac Games. Now, what I found interesting about this is, and I don't exactly know if they actually announced it as an exclusive or not. I do think that they've only, talked about an Xbox One version. So it's going to be interesting to see if this is actually a multi-platform game or an Xbox exclusive. Because Insomniac is, of course, known for being kind of like this exclusive studio for PlayStation. They made Ratchet & Clank and Resistance, of course. Then they went to EA and made Fuse, which, came out for 360 and PS3, but what didn't really do well. I think the average review score is at like 6 or something, so it's not really a great game. But yeah, it's interesting to see how they have just announced this for the Xbox One. Still, I'm interested to see if this is actually an exclusive or a third-party game. Next up is Minecraft, which was announced for the Xbox One. Of course, many people are playing it on the 360 right now, so it didn't really come to me as a surprise that it was announced for the Xbox One. I found it kind of interesting to see how they, decided to spend such a long time on it, because at the same time, it didn't really come as a surprise, and we know what we can expect. I actually think it said it was going to be bigger than the PC version. That's, of course, interesting about it. But yeah, that's about it for Minecraft. So next up was Quantum Break, which was announced at the first reveal event, of course, already. This was the game that I was most interested, in, with the Xbox reveal event. Now, what they shown us wasn't gameplay, which I was disappointed by. It was just, it looked like a cutscene, but, I don't exactly know what it was. It did look like a cutscene, but a very interesting element, how, time was being stopped. It was all in slow motion, and then the guy could just walk through that in real time. I wonder if that's like any part of the gameplay or something like that, but we'll have to wait and see for that. It does once again look interesting, and I can't wait to see actual gameplay from that. So the next two things I'm going to talk about are kind of innovative things, which, you know, I was really looking forward to in this press conference. I was looking for that innovation, you know. So what they showed us was Project Spark, which is pretty much a game where you can create your own levels. What was interesting is you could, you know, the Xbox would listen to your voice, and you could just say what kind of environment you would want, and then it would build that for you. And then with your tablet, I believe, you could actually control, you know, or like specify what exactly you wanted in terms of environment, in terms of enemies. And you could basically make your own game. I thought that was really cool. And they also showed us a lot of share functionality, which we of course saw with the PS4, how it has the share button through which you can like record your own gameplay. And yeah, what Xbox showed us was pretty much the same. What I found interesting is that they partnered with Twitch TV, because in the PS4 reveal event we clearly saw how you know, that was being streamed via Ustream. So I think they kind of have agreements on different sides there. The PlayStation 4 is going to use Ustream, and the new Xbox is going to use Twitch. So yeah, that's definitely interesting. So next up is actually quite an awkward moment, I must say. I quite laughed at this. It was yeah, Microsoft announced a new game, Crimson and Dragon, but once they showed the trailer, they had no audio, and you could just hear the crowd kind of like laughing at it, and yeah, some people even really being dicks in the audience and just you know, really making awkward noises and stuff like that, and laughing, and yeah, it was kind of embarrassing to see that. I guess they should have prepared their conference a bit better, but it was still a funny moment, of course. This also happened with Battlefield 4, which they showed off. Now, I was quite surprised that they decided to show off Battlefield 4, mainly because Battlefield 4 is, of course, a multi-platform game, but at the same time, it leans a bit more towards PlayStation, I would say, because, yeah, of course, the DLC for Battlefield 3 had a 1-week exclusive deal on the PlayStation. It doesn't look too different from Battlefield 3, of course, but just those graphics and just the explosions and the colors, it was just amazing. Like, I mean, I just can't wait for Battlefield 4, both single player and multiplayer. I think they will have heavily improved on the single player, which they, you know, showed off at this event. But yeah, it just looks so amazing that I just can't wait to play it. And then before talking about the final two games, and probably the most important thing about the event, let's quickly go over two more games, Dead Rising 3 and The Witcher 3. You know, we knew that The Witcher 3 was of course coming. That was already teased in the trailer. Again, looks stunning, of course. The Witcher 2 is one of those, you know, the best looking games on PC, and you could clearly see how the graphics looked amazing once again on the Xbox One. Dead Rising 3, of course, the first two games weren't exactly like amazing or fantastic games, but they are just a lot of fun to play, and this one once again looked like that. Just so many zombies on your screen at one time. It was just insane. And yeah, I just, you know, I can't wait to slice through some zombies with chainsaws and swords and whatever you can find. So that's definitely going to be fun. So what most people will probably find the most important announcement of the whole event was we actually saw some kind of character walking through the desert, and you didn't know what it was, and I had not expected it, but once you know, they showed the character, it turned out to be Master Chief, and the new Halo for Xbox One was being announced, was being teased. As I said in my preview video, I'd already expected this would happen, and it turned out that it actually did happen, which I was very happy about. What I found interesting about this is that, you know, Microsoft really said how there would be a new trilogy for Halo, so we were all expecting Halo 4, 5 and 6, especially because they called it Halo 4 on the 360, you know. I would expect that Halo 5 would just be like an Xbox One exclusive, or, you know, for the Xbox One and for the Xbox 360, but it looks like they're actually going to like reboot the title. It's going to just be called Halo. So, you know, I'm wondering if they decided that you know, there's going to be even more Halo games or something like that, or what made them decide to kind of like call it just Halo again. But yeah, that was kind of surprising. Of course, it was just a teaser. We all know what we can expect, but it still looked amazing, of course. So I can't wait to see more of that. You know, before going to the most important part, I want to quickly talk about Titanfall. Of course, it was already majorly leaked on via the Game Informer cover. We all knew that was coming. Titanfall is the new Respawn game, which, you know, many people have been waiting for like 3 or 4 years already. I didn't think it looked too impressive, but at the same time, I don't really know too much about it yet. They did like really define what first-person shooters look like nowadays with the first Modern Warfare, of course, and I thought Modern Warfare 2 was great as well. So I definitely have high expectations from this game. But yeah, I want to see more of this. Now, finally, what I want to talk about is the price and release date. I had not expected they would already announce it, especially not given that the price point is actually quite high in my eyes. The new Xbox One will retail for $499, and in my eyes, that's just really too high. And you know, with some of the rumors that we've heard about the new PlayStation, is that it's actually going to be priced at like 400 or 450, or maybe even 350, what was rumored. So I definitely think that Sony could really, like slap Microsoft in the face at their press conference, which they will have in a few hours from now. I can't wait to see what they will announce, if they will actually announce a price. I do hope so, because I definitely want to compare them. But yeah, at the same time, I'm like, $499 is a bit much. So yeah, please let me know, of course, what you think about that. Is it too much, or do you think it's fine this way? I thought it was very interesting for sure. Also, the release date, the new Xbox One will be in stores November 2013. So just start saving up if you want to get an Xbox One, and then you can buy one in November of 2013. So that was my first breakdown video. Let me know what you thought about the press conference. I definitely think Microsoft has like restored a lot of the hate that it got. Their image will have been massively improved, which we all expected, of course. But I do think that the price point is a bit high. But of course, let me know what you think about the whole event. Which games are you excited for? What do you think about the price, the release date? What do you think Sony will show, of course? The EA, Ubisoft and Sony press conference will be going down in the next hours, so I will be watching those as well and giving you my thoughts in the coming hours. So yeah, definitely let me know all your thoughts on this, and then I thank you a lot for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.